Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. In today's video, I will talk about how to fix FC Bayern Munchen. But first of all, we gotta talk about the main problem. But before we do that, let's talk about the Bayern manager Vincent Kompany. I've had my opinions about him. He's proven majority of them right in the terms of him being inexperienced, a bit amateurish, but that comes with managing Burnley before this. So the thing though with Kompany, maybe the players are the bigger problem. And I think Bayern, obviously, they want to give Kompany more time. And I completely understand that. I don't think you should judge that much of a manager of the first year in terms of if he can succeed with the club in the future. This season, though, the football has not been up par. He's obviously dominating the Bundesliga. Is that the biggest flex? And then, obviously, when it comes to the UCL, Bayern have been very mid at best, especially when it comes to the biggest games. And even in the Bundesliga, where they are first with, I think, an 8-point gap, Bayern Leverkusen has still outperformed them both in the league and in the cup whenever they face. But obviously, they're going to face in the Champions League, which is a very interesting tie. And that's a game where Kompany should be tactically trying to outclass Xabi Alonso, despite probably having a poorer squad. But Kompany, I want to excuse him. I want to put him to the side and look at the main big problem at FC Bayern Munchen. And it's that the wages. You got Nubel, 125k for a backup keeper. Stanisic, 126k for a backup defender that's loaned out. Guerrero on 150. Leimer on 170. Like, these are bumps. This is the wage you give to starters, not bench/bumps. Second of all, like a player like Leimer, he's not even, like, he would suit like what Tuchel wants to play, not at all Kompany ball. Upamecano is a great player. He's a starter for Bayern, deserves that wage. Palhinha is a bit, I would compare it to Colomane at Paris Saint-Germain. I really don't understand. Like, Palhinha was signed for the Tuchel system, which probably would have worked more because they, suffocate, sit back, take that pressure, and then go in the counter. But I've even read reports like Bayern just wants to be nice. That's what they sound Palhinha about. Yeah, Kim Min-jae 230, just not Bayern level, especially with the Highline Kompany plays. I mean, Bayern fans have been cooking this guy for a couple of years, so I don't have to say anything. Olise, still a very high wage. He probably was on high wages in the Premier League as well, but he's a great player, great talent, will only become better with years. Davis, obviously, still a high wage, but, competing with Madrid. They managed to keep Alphonso Davies, and Davies is one of the best left backs in the world. Sané, absolutely cooked product. Bayern should do absolutely everything they can to move away from him. Kingsley Coman, same thing. I mean, they've been trying to move on from a lot of these players, but they need to put more pressure. They need to tell them, like Paris Saint-Germain, that we created a loft. A loft is a place where you put all the players that are unwanted, and you tell them you will not play any games until you leave this club. Bayern have to be harsher towards these players. Thomas Müller, what is he doing? Why do you have a mascot on 326k at the club? Get rid of him. Gnabry, 362k. Do you know how? Kimmich, obviously, finally, we saw the reports that Erbel finally wants to get rid of Joshua Kimmich because this player just isn't good enough. And he's asking for a huge wage, similarly to Harry Kane at the club. Get rid of him. Manuel Neuer on 400k. That was recently extended. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. I'm not saying Neuer is still not a top keeper, but the thing people have to understand, that this is something I can somehow respect Madrid for. As soon as they see a player starts declining, despite him being on a high wage, they get rid. Even Modric, who they still have at the club, he has a lower wage. He wants to extend, they will give him a lower wage to stay at the club. I don't know why they're giving out these, oh my God, we're a bigger club, we're a big family, Bayern, we treat. Like, what? Get rid of him. Musiala, I mean, I've had my thoughts about the extension to Musiala. When a huge mistake by FC Bayern Munchen, just, giving their ass to Musiala. I mean, he's still a good player. The wage thing is a huge problem. Harry Kane, good player. Very high wage, but, he's old and so on. So, but maybe they should look for something else. And this is players at clubs with over 200k. You can see Madrid 15, Bayern 12. And Bayern have a garbage squad. They probably have the worst squad out of all of these teams here. It's genuinely diabolical. The sporting board of Bayern have been doing the past couple of seasons. But don't you worry, because I'm here to fix it. So, let's see. Here the Bayern players I would get rid of: Manuel Neuer, Goretzka, Kim Min-jae, Gnabry, Kimmich, Müller, Coleman, Sané, Leimer. This is obviously the main ones. Maybe there's some backups you need to get rid of, but that's not the main priority here. For me, Kimmich, Musiala, and Neuer, they have been how can I say this? Just this is the main problem with Bayern. These are all recent extensions. Kimmich, obviously, Bayern are now looking not to extend, but Musiala recently extended, Neuer recently extended for humongous wage, with which none of those are worth the wages. But as I've said, I'm not here to criticize company. I think he's still done a good job, but I don't know what people's expectations were for an amateur manager coming into the club. But Erbil, I don't know. When I was making this presentation before the Kimmich news came out, I think Bayern should have moved on from him. But when I saw that he wants to move away from Kimmich, maybe he can stay too for one more season. And I think Bayern should try to look at what Paris Saint-Germain did with Luis Campos and try to replicate that, which is one window. Get rid of all the old players, despite them being good or not, despite them being legends or not. I know maybe, legend and happy club vibe is not the best decision to make, but we're looking at the sporting stuff here, and as a Bayern fan, that should obviously be the priority. So, Nubel, are we promoting to the first goalkeeper? Get rid of Neuer. I think Nubel has been good at Stuttgart this season, and you just have to give him the keys. Neuer isn't the same player anymore. He's probably still a little bit better than Nubel, but you have to make this transition and save 300k in wages. For the centre-back spot, I would say Bayern should sign Romero from Spurs. It would cost a lot, similarly a bit to when they signed Lucas Hernandez from Atletico, but I would make this deal happen, get rid of Kim Min-jae. Leimer, I would get rid of, and I would get Thiago Santos from Lille. I think he's been superb. And he's someone I've wanted at PSG, very great player, very technical, can play good offensively and defensively, so would suit the company football. Kimmich, as I said, we'll get rid of him, probably get Stiller in for him. Goretzka I would get rid of, and I would try to get Palacios, who could be more of a rotation player, Bayern, even though he's very good, and also weakening Leverkusen at the same time. And when it comes for attackers, there are many names. Obviously, Sané, Coman, Gnabry all have to leave the club. And I would look at Xavi Simons, Alex Baena, and Nico Williams for the left wing spot. I would look at Bakayoko, Zegrova, and I don't remember that guy's name for the right wing spot. And here's the team I would build for Bayern Munchen. The starting 11 would be Nubel, Santos, Upamecano, Romero, Davis. That's already a top-tier defense. Pavlovic, Stiller, Musiala. Gray midfield, and Nico, Kane, Olise. I think Olise has been good this season, but one thing Bayern have been lacking is someone else on that left-hand side. There's a bit too much pressure on Olise. Even Musiala has to be dropping to that left side, and adding another electric player like Nico Williams would help Bayern a lot. And he's someone that, once again, Kane, because, especially in big games, he wants to be a playmaker to the wingers. He could playmake a lot to Olise and Nico. And this is how the backup 11 would look like. Perec in goal, Dyer, Ito, Guerrero, Stanisic, Palinha, Palacios, Xavi for both the left wing and the left cam spot. Matthias Tell up top, and Zegrova as the right winger. Well, hopefully I've fixed Bayern Munchen. To all Bayern fans and non-Bayern fans, let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about the Bayern rebuild? I'm completely ruthless. I think FC Bayern being a huge club, they need to have high expectations. They need to be extremely critical. And I think Bayern Munchen are at a point where this summer transfer window matters a lot. You need to get rid of the bumps. You need to get rid of all the players with high wage, because when you remove players with high wage, you have a larger transfer budget to spend on new signings. Bayern have to spend 300, 400 million this summer to actually start competing. Maybe a bit less, maybe 250. But these are the players Bayern Munchen should get rid of. And these are the Bayern Munchen players these are the players that Bayern Munchen should be signing. Let me know in the comments down below what do you guys think. And as usual, allez, Paris.